My name is Marga and this is Brandy. Welcome to Floor to Ceiling Carpet 1. And today we're going to be talking to you about kitchen design, different elements that you can put inside of a kitchen. One of the things that we want to talk about today is a lot of times when people come in, one of the things that we notice immediately is that a husband and wife will come in and it seems like neither one of them has the same tastes. So you end up arguing and things like that. And this is a great kitchen to show you today, just because it's a way of tying two different styles and two different tastes together and to merge into one unified kitchen. So that's what we'll be talking to you about today.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Marga. There's just so many elements within this kitchen that people come in our door and just say, wow, this is so great. This is the way we can tie both of our personalities into one design. And actually a lot of what we've been seeing the past couple of years has been some trends in using some different wood species within the kitchen and also different stains or different paints intermixing with each other. So this kitchen here is showing a red birch, and it's a flat panel, something with a wider style and rail. So it's a little bit more of a mission style, but then they're bringing in a very traditional, deep, rich mahogany cherry into it with the glass kind of intermixed in the center of it. And this just gives it a little bit more of a traditional, a little bit more elegant look to it. And so this is really a way to kind of tie in two different looks. So we did the two different tones with the red birch and the cherry. And then you can see on the crown molding, we took the cherry as the heavier portion of the crown molding and then inserted the red birch as just a molding insert in it. So very subtle, but just gives it a big wow factor. And then on the island, we used all of the cherry, majority of it, on accenting it, just kind of making the island very bold and rich and kind of just that massive feel to it. But there, yeah.
Oh, again, just one of the things with the kitchen that you'll notice is that in the back cabinets that we were looking at, they are, you know, a little more rustic, and these can also transition into something that's also just a little more traditional. So even though it has some rustic elements, it also has some very traditional elements, so we would call that more of a transitional kind of design. The other element that we've put in here is a very, very contemporary element, and that we've utilized on the end portion of this island. This is actually this table actually moves on its own, and one of the really neat things, especially if your spouse happens to be a really contemporary kind of spouse, we just wanted to add something that was a little more innovative. In today's society, everybody's on the go, everybody's on the move. Not everybody uses things in the same way. What's really great about this for a lot of reasons is that, you know, if you need extra eating space other than what you have on the island, this is great for that. This is also great for little kids if they're in your kitchen. You know, they're shorter, great for making cookies. And what I really like about this is that also this is great if you want to think about handicap accessibility. What's great is that you can easily roll a wheelchair right up to this and easily function there. It does have a full range of swing on it, both forward and back. This is another great piece for whoever's at the island if they want to, you know, put spices or plates or whatever they want to do here, but it's still low enough to where, you know, anyone who's sitting down can certainly still reach up there, or, you know, can certainly be adjusted to go up or down on this pole. So again, it's just a way of marrying two very different styles, but it all turns into this great design, unified design.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of elements that people don't think of. People don't think of coming in here and do kitchen design and then adding a center pole with kind of the swing out spice racks on there, or a movable island like that. So, I mean, there's different elements that a lot of times, you know, people don't think of that we know that we have access to that will really help be more efficient for them in their kitchen. So there's a lot of great points, you know, on that.
The other thing that you'll want to notice when we're doing countertops, again, just to add a little more spice to your countertops, adding a little bit more style. Most of the time when you walk into a home, it has usually a squared off edge or a round edge on the countertops. These countertops here happen to be granite, and what we've done with the edge on these, we've put what we call a pitched edge on here. And if you get if you look closely at this, it is almost as though the granite is unfinished and it's just been chipped away at, and that's what we call a a pitched edge. One of the things that I know for me that was always my concern, or used to be my concern, was that if you're wearing a silk blouse, this is not the most friendly edge to put on, because sometimes it can snag, things like that, because it is rough. However, now with technology where it's come, you can still get this look, and it won't hurt that silk blouse. It's a little more smooth. But again, it's a really great way to, instead of staying traditional and staying boring, you know, one spouse wants something a little more spiced up, a little more fun. This is a great edge to put on any kitchen. So
yeah, gives it a little bit more of a rustic appeal to it. Yep. And as you can see, you know, even with the kind of going into more of that rustic, you know, with the more of the red birch, you know, just adding even just a simple backsplash. Like here, it is a natural stone, and it's just a different color, and we used a different color grout to really try to enhance and fill the pits of the actual stone itself to kind of give a different color. So it almost comes off a little bit more of a mauve, pinkish tone to it, which really ties into the movable island that Marga just showed you. But here, you know, it's just using up their 12 by 12 mesh mounted rocks on the actual mesh mounted paper, and so they're put up and then they're mounted. But it just gives it a really funky look to it, and a really natural look. So it really ties in, you know, the two different elements that we are trying to look at here. So, and the maintenance on something like this, a lot of people think, oh, natural stone, I don't want the maintenance. But really, you know, if it's done right and installed, our installers will seal it right on the job site, and you just have to make sure that you keep that sealant just every couple years, what we recommend. And they make really easy just hand wipes that you can go and just wipe right on this, and it seals it again. But just a little bit of something flair to a backsplash really can do something for a kitchen.
Right. And I know in our kitchen, it's really important, especially anytime you're dealing with a natural stone tile versus a ceramic. A natural stone is going to really absorb a lot of, especially right here, it's above a cooking surface, so you have to think you're going to have steam, you're going to have maybe some oil splatters, things like that. So you do want to make sure that this natural stone is sealed. But like Brandy said, it's really easy to do. We have wipes, and all you have to do really is wipe it down. So that's something you definitely want to be taking care of.
Yeah, and there's just, you know, just many different looks that you can get with the ceramic tile and the countertops. And really, when you're looking at tying in two different colors, two different looks, it really is just putting your own personality into your kitchen and making sure that all the colors kind of tie in with each other. So people would think, oh, you know, mahogany with a natural red birch, you know, how is that even going to work? Well, tying in just the backsplash and the actual natural stone colors really just intertwine. And like we show here, we tied in more of that natural maple, kind of the red tone of the red birch, into the bar stools, in which you might have a dining table or some other features throughout your house that really intertwine all these different stains and different styles. So it doesn't get too busy. It's really just how you play with it, and you know how we can really put it together for you.
One of the things that I want to mention too, just talking about colors and tying those all together, when we're talking about the tile, typically you'll walk into our store, and natural stone, really, when you think about it, is truly in essence a rock. So anytime we're talking about enhancing a stone, you want to make sure we have a actual product that will actually enhance a stone. When we use that word, basically the easiest thing for you to relate it to would be if you take a rock and you dip it in water, it changes the color of that rock. That is in essence what an enhancer will do. So if you're in our store and you're looking at a board, all we'll do, and we'll show it to you right here on the floor, we'll just go and grab a damp towel, put that over it, and you'll know exactly what your tile is going to look like if you need something to marry up to what you're already putting together as far as colors in your kitchen.
So here, just an example with this kitchen, what we've gone over with you today is just how you can intertwine two different styles, two different looks that you and maybe your spouse are trying to achieve within your kitchen. So I hope Marga and I were able to kind of go through and give you an idea how you guys can intertwine and meet in the middle. And we just want to thank you again for joining us at Floor to Ceiling Carpet One. And I'm Brandy.
And I'm Marga.
And we thank you for joining us.